from Southern California, this is the Gerrit Ritt Show on CBS Sports Radio.
Oh, baby. Talk to me, Jerry Rafferty in Baker Street. Yacht rock songs there ever was. In fact, probably the best yacht rock song there ever was. I know we're not supposed to talk about the bump music that comes in, but I love me some Baker Street. It reminds me, actually, because little known fact, a little behind the scenes here, we all drive in to the studio every day on Baker Street. So I think in this song every time we come in. And it has the one rule that I always have for all yacht rock songs, and that sax solo. In fact, this thing has like 4 sax solos. That's what makes it the king, and I love it. Jerry Rafferty, thank you, my man. Baker Street. Welcome you to the second annual Gerrit Ritt Show, my continuing slow-moving coup on the most iconic sports radio show in history.
Ionic.
The show it took Jim 30 years to build, the show that put him in the Hall of Fame, the show that put Tom Hanks in the ground, is now the show I have complete control over for the next 15 minutes, or 20, 25 minutes, whatever it takes. I say 15 minutes because I think you both know, or all of us know, that I really took control of this thing the day I walked into that door about 2.5 years ago. In fact, you know what? 15 minutes is not going to be nearly enough. Smackerman, Rich, you may have to sit this one out, my man, because I'm probably going to be going a little heavy in this bad boy. 15 minutes just isn't anywhere near enough for me to off any of the celebrities that you all had in your JTP death pool for me today. So I'm sorry to disappoint, but Forrest Gump's year-old carcass is just going to have to suffice, because other than Hanks and obviously the career of Gary Sinise, everyone else in that movie is very much alive and well. So sorry, Lieutenant Dan, you miserable, legless D-bag, but you had it coming, and we all know it.
Forrest, I never thanked you for saving my life.
All right, so we're off. We're off and running. So far, so good. And, I think you're going to have to dig in a little for the rest of us, especially for a few minutes, because we have a very special guest coming up in a few minutes. So if you do nothing else, please stick it out until he or she gets here. I guarantee you it will be worth the wait. Or even, I guess, even the better scenario for all of you, that person doesn't show up, and I'm left here naked with about 10 minutes to fill, absolutely nothing to fill it with except stories of, canceled Garth Brooks tickets before I even get going on this beautiful buffet of sweets that I have laid out in front of me, as you all see. So, yeah, why don't we go to a call first? Why not? We have them lined up. I think we had someone on hold that wanted to talk to on the Gerrit Ritt Show. Why don't we bring him up? Who is it? Paul's dog? Yes. Paul, talk to me.
Hello, Ike. Oh, good show, dude. Remember when you were president of the United States? Did you kill James Dean?
Rock him. He's out. Ruff. Nice, Paul, dog.
Rock
Thank you
him.
very much. Thanking very, very much. Looking at this buffet, and I'm just now, this is not cool. All right, I took all the time to take all this in here, and all of a sudden, I've got a freaking thing of jelly beans in front of me. Come on, I have the Swiss Miss, the Rolos, the caramel corn. I had the Cheerwine. I didn't bring it out, but I'm going to. This is not cool. Jelly beans suck. Jelly beans really, really suck. In fact, if you get nothing else out of this segment at all, if nothing else goes right for me the rest of this segment, just know jelly beans suck. In fact, I may never have a better and more important take in the rest of my life. Jelly beans suck. In fact, they suck to the power of 1,000 sucks. So, in a word, F jelly beans. Take all this for what it's worth. I think we have one more call here. Who are we going to go to this time? How about Suzie and Wisco? I remember Suzie and Wisco. I believe she was putting on the Ritt about a year ago this time. Suzie, welcome.
Hey, Ritt. This is so awesome. Thanks for taking my call. You made it. A very happy birthday to you and Jim. And I wanted to personally wish you a Merry Rittmas and caution you not to eat too many ho-ho-hos so you don't get diabetes. I'd like you to be around for a real long time, possibly long enough for me to write a sequel anthem. So, way to go, dude.
Thank you, Suzie. Amazing. I love it. Thank you to Paul's dog. Thank you to Suzie. But we do indeed have our special guest on the line. I got to tell you, I am super pumped for this, and I hope you guys will be too. We now welcome, he is currently the head of new media at the Peabody Conservatory at Johns Hopkins University. He is the author of Speed of Sound, writer and director of the award-winning film The Invisible Lighthouse. He wrote the song for and was the bartender in the film Howard the Duck. And I hope I don't insult him by saying this, but probably without question, the coolest thing about him is that his wife was actually in The Godfather Part 2, which is absolutely incredible. And oh yeah, he just happens to have 5 Grammy nominations. He played with David Bowie at Live Aid. The government and his mama know him as Thomas Morgan Robertson, but you know him because of this little number. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the jungle legend himself and fellow October 14ther, Professor Thomas Dolby. Professor, how the heck are you? Thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it.
I'm great. It's good to be here. Happy birthday.
Yeah, well, happy birthday to you, sir. And in fact, I'm sorry that I cut into your time. I know like in about 15 or 20 minutes, you're actually going to be teaching a class there at Johns Hopkins University. I got to ask, what exactly is today's lessons plan? If I was going to be there learning in class with you right now, what are you going to be teaching us all today?
Okay, so I teach film and game music at the Peabody Conservatory. So I'll be teaching my first-year undergrads how to evoke fear with music.
Oh, I love it. I love it so much. Now, listen, you are a rock legend. You've been known to hang out with other rock legends, and I can't even imagine some of the parties you've probably been to in your day. What is the best birthday party you've ever had yourself? Have you had one? Have you had a big blowout at some point?
You know, I was never that into big blowouts particularly. I was always a slightly reluctant rock star.
Right.
And I'm kind of glad that I've sunk back into relative obscurity now. I like that sort of, rarefied, iconic legend status much better than I like being out and about, being a celeb.
I feel you there. Well, a bit of a humble brag here, but for my birthday tonight, I'm actually going to see the Stones at SoFi Stadium here in Los Angeles. It's a big deal for me. I've never seen the Stones before. Now, I know you and Mick and Keith and Ronnie, you're all fellow Londoners. So I'm going to naturally assume you're all best friends. So are you actually doing anything for your birthday tonight? And have any of your previous birthdays involved any of the members of the Stones?
You know, I've never actually met the Stones. I'll tell you a funny story, though, about my wife, who, as you mentioned, was an actress who was in Godfather 2, among other things. A bunch of friends of mine were going to see the Stones in Oakland one night at some stadium or other. Went in a limo, and she said, "Why can't I go?" I said, "If you can name 3 Rolling Stones songs, I will take you along." And she didn't make it.
Couldn't pull it off?
So it tells you how interested she is in music. But no, I mean, I've had some incredible birthdays, but tonight my dear wife is taking me to see the author David Sedaris in concert.
Sure.
Who's one of my favorite authors, and he's playing at the Symphony Hall here in Baltimore.
Genius. I love it. I love that you're also getting out. So, but I'm obviously mentioned, and you just talked about it, you are a professor these days at Johns Hopkins, but that doesn't mean you stopped touring, as far as I know. In fact, you were in LA as recently as 2018. You played with Blondie, Adam Ant, Soft Cell in Berlin here in LA, which is just amazing. I can't believe I missed that. You were also scheduled for another tour just before COVID hit. What's the latest plan? Are we going to be seeing you on stage anytime in the near future?
Yeah, I was really upset, that I was due to play the Greek Theatre last fall, and that would have been an amazing homecoming because, I lived in LA for, 9, nearly 10 years at the end of the 80s, and up there in the Hollywood Hills, and my favorite gig of all time, I think, was the Greek Theatre on a hot, languorous night. So it would have been lovely to have come back there, but unfortunately that one was canceled. I'll try again. It's like these sort of rewind, retro type concerts can be fun. They can be kind of naff, but the overall vibe is great. Everybody's taking a trip down memory lane. And the nice thing is that if I can play to thousands of people with the likes of Blondie and Adam, then a few more hundred might come and see my own personal gigs, when I'm playing at the Lhasa Club.
Oh, man, I love it. The Greek Theater is the best, too. I've seen so many concerts out there. But
Indeed.
All right, it's time to get serious now. Enough with the niceties, because this show, as we just found out last segment with Greg Berhalter of the U.S. men's national team, we are the official home of the English Premier League in the States. Everyone knows this. Though I'm sure it comes as no surprise to our listeners that you are a hardcore 50-year fan of the Hammers of West Ham.
West Ham United.
That's it. I, of course, have adopted Everton. I'm wearing the kit right now. I did that as my club of choice just over a decade ago when the U.S. had both Tim Howard and Landon Donovan on the same team. We just so happen to be hosting West Ham on Saturday, so I got to ask you, Everton 4-0 or Everton 5-0? Go.
It could be very even. I think both teams are really on the up at the moment. You guys have got a cool new manager, even though he's a bit of a traitor to your noisy neighbours.
Former Liverpool, yeah.
And West Ham are actually playing great. It's really a challenge being a West Ham fan, I've got to tell you. It's a lot easier supporting Man U or Chelsea or somebody, but it's really, you go through hell as a West Ham fan most seasons, but right now we're doing great. With your former manager, David Moyes, at the helm, and we've got a great team. So I think it should be a very interesting game this weekend.
Yeah, Antonio is one of my favorite players in the league. He's so underrated, so fast, so powerful. And
he's such a sweetheart. It's like he gives the best interviews. He's like the most honest and open guy you can imagine. He just loves the game.
So Rolling Stone once broke down all the fan bases in the EPL, and for my toffees, strangely enough, they said if you're American, you'll love Everton. So they obviously nailed that. But for West Ham, they described followers like yourself as, quote, masochists. Does that pretty much sum up the West Ham fandom experience?
Well, I think it does, but it's like we have no choice. I've been supporting them since I was 8 years old. Same as you were into Everton when, Landon Donovan and Tim Howard were playing there. In 1966, three of the World Cup winning English team were West Ham players, Jeff Hurst, Martin Peters, and Bobby Moore. So that was when my 8-year-old self fell in love with West Ham. And since then, I've really had no choice in the matter. I just have to support them through rain and shine.
Indeed you do. Well, I wish I could wish you luck on Saturday, but I just can't do it. I got to keep with my toffees. Thomas, thank you so much. This was amazing. I'm glad you could spare a few minutes of your time. I know you've got a lot of things going on, but sparing us on the Jim Rohn Show and the Gerrit Ritt Show today was a real honor, and it was a real pleasure to talk to you. Thanks so much.
Thank you, and say hi to all of my friends in the LA area.
Done. It just happened. Thanks, Thomas. How good was that, everybody? My present to you, Thomas Dolby. Songs you may not just know him from Blind Me with Science. He had Hyperactive, One of Our Submarines, Europa, and the Pirate Twins. All of them actually made the top 40 in the United States. One hit wonder, My Butt. So Thomas was the man. So thank you so much for everyone. Jim, I want to say thank you for having me in. Craig Kitchen, thank you for having me in. All you listeners for calling in and wanting to be on the show. And also a special shout out to my old man. He's actually, strangely enough, he's under the knife as we speak. He's having a heart procedure, and I'm really hoping for it and wishing for you, big guy. So good luck. Thank you again. Rich Ackerman, the CBS Sports Update. Rich, take it away.
Sports Flash.
Happy birthday, old man. My best to the old man. And happy birthday, Jim the Dodger.
You nailed it. I'm very happy with how that went. And I was not happy in the beginning. Not when you rolled out with Jerry Rafferty and Baker Street. Man, I hate that song. He's going all yacht rock up in here. Then he gives up our address. I'm like, holy crap, Ritt. You want to give him my social security number too? But then, man, dude just flattened out and just crushed it. Thomas Dolby. How about the Q&A with Dolby? All class. All right, so I want to get some reaction into Gerrit Ritt, who had himself a day, had himself a segment. And I got to tell you, I'm not going to tell you what to say. I'm not going to tell you what to think. I think some of you were way out of line. I thought Ritt did great. Now, I was concerned again how he started when he busted out with yacht rock. Now, it is his show. His music sucks, but it is his show. And I thought, oh, dude, you are not coming into Jerry Rafferty and Baker Street. Man, I hate that song so much. And I know hate's a strong word, but I really do hate that song. And then when he said the reason for it is, well, you know, like we all work on Baker Street. Great, Ritt, why don't you give him the code for the door to get in here? Give him the lock code while you're at it. But then dude rallied, man. He was smooth. He was confident without being arrogant. Now I know why you can't book the podcast. He probably spent all that time trying to get the professor on, but he did. Dolby was all class. You saw the Ritt lifestyle right here on the desk, all the candy he laid out. I thought he crushed it, man. I thought he did great. Your thoughts when we come back. Let's see, Rome. If you're going to let Ike do a segment on the show, then all of us should be allowed to have a manual buzzer to cut him off. James Z. Again, do what you want with it, think what you want, but know this, I do not agree at all. If this guy came in here and mucked it all up, and he sucked, I'd be the first one to say it. You know this. He didn't. He held it down. And again, I was very nervous when he busted out his yacht rock. Not nervous like, oh no, something bad's going to happen. Nervous like I was going to have to fire his ass when he got 1 foot out of the studio. Playing Gerrit Rafferty on this show is a fireable offense, Ritt. Baker Street. Tell the listeners why he played Baker Street. Oh, because that's the address. That's where we work. Great, Ritt. Let him on in. But then, man, smooth and easy. Settled in, was confident without being arrogant. Couldn't wait to find out who he booked. And then sure enough, Thomas Dolby, famously sharing the same birthday as Ritt and I. And man, the guy was classy. He did a great interview. Ritt even conducted a good interview. I never thought that I would say this, Ritt. It left me wanting more. I kind of wanted you to not like come back in here and do another segment, but like Dolby, I know what it's like to have a good guest. You don't want to let them go. You're feeling it. You're in the moment. And also, I bet that thing went really fast for you. You know, for the clones, it felt like 10 hours. But for you, it probably felt like 1 second. But I'm like, come on, man, dude, cut. And notice I didn't say anything. But in my mind, I'm thinking, all right, let Dolby go, leave them wanting more, and give me some more of you, Ritt. What do you got? But I know you were feeling it. But I do want to say your follow-up effort was definitely better than the first, and you didn't kill anybody, so that's good too. In case you missed it, Ritt did host the show. And if you ask me, he did a really good job.
Live from Southern California, this is the Gerrit Ritt Show on CBS Sports Radio.
Oh, baby. Talk to me, Gerrit Rafferty in Baker Street.
Yeah, baby.
One of the best yacht rock songs there ever was. In fact, probably the best yacht rock song there
Probably
ever was.
the worst song of
I know we're not
any
supposed to talk
genre
about the
ever.
punk music that comes in, but I love me some Baker Street.
He loves yacht rock. What, Steely Dan didn't make the cut? Christopher Cross? Michael McDonald? This guy writes, Rome, the bump back blasting Baker Street was the best bump back in jungle history. Though I am disappointed that Ritt did not fake kill a celebrity this year, the unsolicited blast of Lieutenant Dan was legendary. War Ritt. Damasio in Albuquerque. Rome.
So, sorry, Lieutenant Dan.
In case Ritt forgets to, anyone. Dolby.
Dolby.
Unwar, no ambi cameo. There were others that wanted to talk to him. He just was caught up in talking to his guy and didn't go to the phones. Jim, Ritt lost me with the Lieutenant Dan drops. Signed most listeners. This says, sigh. The show that it took Jim Rome 20 years to build and 15 minutes for Ritt to destroy. Actually, it took about 30 years for me to build this and about 30 seconds for him to destroy it.
This is not cool.
That's from Vince in Illinois. Hey, Bella liked it. Bella liked it. Bella writes, Jim, please give us another segment. Like a fine wine, old man Ritt gets better with age. This is radio gold. Happy birthday, Bella B in Calgary.
Thank you.
Bella. Hey, Rome. Can you give us a call as soon as you can? There's something we need to discuss with you. Signed, The Suits in New York, immediately after watching Ritt's segment. Aaron in Iowa. Randall tweets or emails, well, see you later, eardrums. It was a good run, but I just can't risk us ever hearing anything like that ever again. War closed captioning.
15 minutes is not going to be nearly
It's unfair,
enough.
man. I mean, I understand that we're all going to hear the same thing and have different takes, but to me, this is just unwarranted. He did fine. In fact, he did better than fine. This is the very definition of hating. Like, you don't even believe what you're saying. You're just here to hate or pretend like you hate because you know he did well. Jaime, you remember how you killed the hack off? Well, go ahead and kill this stupid segment too. Once was enough, very played out now. Stephen S.A. Oh, yeah, that's played out and you want me to kill it, but keep reading your garbage, Steve. Oh, okay. Let me tell you something. Again, I have no reason to say what I'm saying other than I believe it. If it sucked, I would say so. If it was a huge mistake, I would own it and say, we're never doing that again, old man. The reason I'm not saying these things is because I don't believe it. He did his job. He held it down.
The power of 1,000
He was
sucks.
better. If anything, the disappointment is that it didn't suck. I get way more mileage out of him not being good than being smooth and professional and prepared. I actually wish it did suck.
Jelly beans suck.
All right, that was pretty stupid. Dude, is there any sugar that you don't love? Oh, jelly beans. Jelly beans suck. Because that makes sense.
The power of 1,000 sucks.
Oh, Skittles are incredible, but jelly beans suck to the power of 1,000 sucks, right? That doesn't make much sense, Ritt, honestly. Van Sizzle, we love Thomas Dolby. Just so you know, we are also available. Signed Howard Jones, Right Said Fred, and Tommy Two-Tone. Hey, idiot. He did Dolby because Dolby has the same birthday that we have. I don't think Right Said Fred does. I could be wrong. He didn't find, quote, some obscure rocker just because. He found a professor and a legend who shares the same birthday. And I don't want Dolby, I don't want to get back to him and think, so he thinks that he was not the first choice, but he was not the first choice. Ritt went hard for Usher. But by the way, Thomas Dolby was a great book. Like I said, now I know why the podcast is not getting booked. Ritt was trying to book his show, his podcast. Carlos Sanchez, wow, Ritt. Good job, great effort. You sounded a little nervous at first, but you nailed it. Atlanta 2745 tweets, Jim, no, you wouldn't say it because he did suck, and you aren't saying it. Professor Dolby was good, but that was through no fault of Gerrit Ritt.
Good to be here. Happy birthday.
One last time. Why would I not say it? Why would I not say it? Why am I trying to cover him? Why am I trying to protect him? Why would I not just say it? Every single day, if I've got an issue with anybody or anything, including my crew and myself, I say it. If he sucked, I would say it.
Why do I have to?
I was not looking forward to Ritt's segment this year. After his on-air debacle last year, I was actually contemplating muting him this year. However, I thought that he did great. Why are people mad? What is their problem? Good job, Ritt. Never expected to say that. War Lady Clones, Donner and Austin.
War Lady Clones.
Yeah, I don't know, Donner. Why are they saying that? Because they're miserable. Because they think they'll get more people to look at them and react to them than if they were to come in here and say, hey, you know what, old man? Good job. Bravo. Way to hold it down. Just puking up lava. Just hating to hate. Just looking for that hot take. Trying to get people to look at you and react to you. Because that guy came in here. That's not easy to do. And he did it. Jim, please don't ever do that again. You owe old man Ritt nothing from here on out. Why was he nervous? Sorry, Ritt, that was a freaking mess.
This is not cool.
It's not cool. I agree with him. How could we all see and hear the same thing and have totally different opinions? Either it was really good or he was a nervous wreck and wreck 30 years of work that I've done. How could it be both?
Woo.
I don't know. And again, what's truly rich is all of you who are coming in here saying, man, that was a train wreck. That was like some of the worst content I've ever heard. Actually, what you send me on the daily is some of the worst content I've ever seen. Yet you're killing this guy. Rich. Very, very rich. Aspen Spin tweets, I liked the Ritt segment. Baker Street, not my fave, but thought that Professor Dolby was legit. That's how I see it.
One-hit wonder, my butt.
No, I think that's what that was. I think he had one other crappy song, too, that I hated besides Baker Street. Mike and State College is in. Ritt really struggles with following directions. Rome always says, give us an A or give us an F. Today we got a C for Rittmas. That's fair. C+, B-. At least I didn't have to put him on academic probation. Hey, Jim, put Ritt in the smack off. He would be perfect. What an awesome segment. Go, Ritt, go.
15 minutes is not going to be nearly enough.
Signed Big Mike in Vegas. I love the way he started the segment by letting the update guy know, hey, by the way, you probably can sit this one out. I'm going to need a lot more real estate than I'm getting right now. Ritt's like that G5, that jet that needs runway. He's not flying some prop plane. He's coming in hot. He needs a nice, long runway. Jim, I'm digging me some Ritt. Did goodly. Nailed the Thomas Dolby interview. You guys should have this guy on again. Very smooth. Good choice. Good interviewee. Happy birthday to you both. Joel. P.S. Jim, your job is safe. He didn't do that well. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay? And finally, Ray in Sherwood. Ritt knocked it out of the park.
Finally.
And jelly beans do suck. Really bad. Like really, really bad.
They suck to the power of 1,000 sucks.
Yeah, again, I don't know how you say that, man. The garbage that you shovel down your gullet on the daily is incredible. Yet jelly beans suck.
Brick.
All right, Alvy. I got it. Let's get out. Not eating cake on air. He brought in this unbelievable birthday cake. Dude, the XR4 Ti, the other side of the glass, my man. Another wardrobe change, and he's smashing cake on air. It's understood that you don't eat during the show. We all kind of wait. Ritt's like, what, man? You know who the hell I am? Evil Knievel, I mean, you know who the hell I am? This dude is crushing birthday cake right now. Look at him in the back row. If you're watching on CBS Sports Network.
You know who the hell I am?
That's it. Coming tight. A little more, a little more, a little more, a little more. There he is, Ritt, eating cake on camera. The ball is on this guy. You couldn't wait 5 minutes, Ritt, until the show was over? Our stylist, Cindy, brought in that little cake, and Ritt's already into it. I've also noticed, I don't know how this happened, but the Jelly Bellies ended up in my office. Dude, you really do hate jelly beans.
Suck.
Those are good, man. We had a horse. In fact, not to get too far off the beaten path. Remember that horse Surfer Girl, who is the mother of Gidget Girl, who is our broodmare and our breeding horse? Mike Pipey used to train Surfer Girl, and he fed her jelly bellies all the time. She loved them. I've never seen a horse eat jelly beans. She loved them. Like she would hoover them. So anyway, they ended up in my office. Ritt ends up with cake in his face. Let me tell you about that rock star. I'd bet almost any amount of money he has no idea who either Ritt or I am. And had no idea where he was, but was just a good dude. A really good dude. I asked Ritt during the break, like, how did you find him? Give me your process. And Ritt was saying how it was hard. It was hard. Like, I couldn't get help from the school, or I couldn't get help from this person or that person. And then he somehow, some way found an email address directly to Dolby, and Dolby hit him back like in 15 minutes. That's really unusual. Yeah, did you hear the part of the interview when he said, you know what, I'm paraphrasing now, but he said, I actually like kind of having that anonymity now. I don't mind not being that guy. I like my privacy. And yet at the same time, he's showing up for a sports talk radio program. And think about the premise of the book. The actual booking of the interview. I don't know what you told him, Ritt, but I'm guessing it's something like, hey, Professor, you've probably heard of me. I'm Ritt. I'm Ike Ritt. You probably know me. No, but he probably said something along the lines of, here, I got this idea. You and me and my boss have the same birthday. I happen to work on a nationally syndicated sports talk radio program. Can you come on and talk about the work you're doing now and your music on a sports show on your birthday? And the guy's response was, yes, I can do that. It's a good dude, Dolby.
Good to be here. Happy birthday.
Ritt saying, actually, the response was, and I quote, why the hell not? Because you're Thomas freaking Dolby, man. Good dude. Why the hell not? I wish everybody that I asked to be on the show said, why the hell not?
Dolby.
Dolby. I like it. Really well done.
Done. It just happened.
Derek in Pittsburgh. His handle is at Whedon's a bum. Hey, Derek, I'm going to allow that, although there is no bum smack on this show. Ward Gerrit Ritt walking back to his seat saying, who do you think you are? I am. Who do you think you are? I am.
Who do you think you are? I am.
John in New York writes, happy birthday, Jim. What kind of a disaster would that have been if Dolby didn't show up? Happy birthday, geezer. Great job. Yeah, but he did. There was no chance that he was not going to show up. He was not going to disrespect Ritt. He wasn't going to Paul Westerberg Ritt. Ryan in Sacktown, give yourself a tongue, Ritt. Wore his wheelchair rolling to the Stones concert tonight.
Rock him.
Dave McRibbon 12 tweets, way to go, Ritt. Somehow you avoided the mountain and got the plane back on the ground. Oh, he did, dude. He did. Say no turbulence whatsoever. At NY Delight, quote, Ritt is going to get a show or launch a pod after this. What a great gift to give on your birthday. HBD. I am the idol maker. It would not surprise me. Zach Matlock, can we get Gerrit Ritt to host the Hack Off? We could, but there is no longer a Hack Off. Can I tell you something? There's a Hack Off every single day on this show. Anytime I take a phone call, a Hack Off kicks in. Amandus Wines tweets, of all the things people say about Ritt, why has no one asked where his eyebrows are?
This is not cool.
That was actually pretty cool. Huge call brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Let me thank the president himself, Ritt. Happy birthday, old man. Well done. Clones, thanks for all the happy birthday wishes. Appreciate that very much. Come back strong. See you tomorrow. We're out.